Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another rendition of Kingdoms Evolution. And we're going to keep the show mostly positive, mostly positive today, because I did a little research on something, and the name of the show is Babies Are Money. So we're going to kind of attack the first lie of the empathites with a positive. We're going to attack it with positive. The first lie of empathites is that the baby, when a woman is pregnant, is a choice. They've ingrained it in our society, ingrained it that baby is a choice. But what we're going to attack isn't whether or not the baby is a choice, because it's not. If it was a woman's choice, we wouldn't have to vote on it, right? I wouldn't get a vote. If a woman could choose to abort her baby, she wouldn't need doctors, she wouldn't need nurses, she wouldn't need drugs. She would just be able to say, hey, I don't want this baby, I'm going to have a miscarriage. She can't. So it's not a woman's choice. It's our choice as a society. That's the first lie. It's not a woman's choice. It's just not. That's why we vote on it, because it takes a society to kill that baby. So that's the first lie. It's the first lie of the empathites. So we're going to attack that first lie, but we're not going to do it on this show right now, this second. We're not going to do it by telling them that it's a lie. We're not going to tell them that. We're not going to argue with them whether or not it's a woman's choice. What we're going to do is tell them there is a much better choice that will benefit them and take away their self-interest to kill that baby. And you say, Joe, wait a minute. So you're saying I've got something so powerful that it will make a woman who's pregnant choose, even if society allows abortion, even if society, doctors and nurses and clinics make all this money from abortion, we're going to give that woman something so exciting, so powerful, that she's going to choose to have a baby and keep that baby and want that baby and love that baby and probably have a lot more babies, which is a beautiful thing for America. We need Americans having more American babies. How are we going to do this? Well, it's really simple. We don't have to do anything. It's already been done. It's already in the works. The kingdom of God, of love, is evolving. And it's evolving through what are called TrumpAccounts.gov. So I actually did a little research. I didn't know I was going to do my show on this, but why not? Why not do the show on this? Because it brings together, it absolutely brings together what we've been talking about with the PSYOP and the first lie of the Satanites and the empathites. And that is that a baby is a choice. We're not even going to argue with them. We're going to create our own little message. And our message is going to be, that baby is money. Ha ha. Money, money, money. Ooh, that's why I should have started my show with money, money, money. Little Pink Floyd. My friend group was talking about Pink Floyd bands. One of my favorite, probably my favorite Pink Floyd song, Money, Money, Money. Hey, I have to put it in I can't just play it. I got to put it in my computer. But I should have had that one today. Maybe I'll have it next time I do this show. I'll research it a little bit more on the TrumpAccounts.gov. TrumpAccounts.gov. They're not here yet. July 4th. All right, so I'm going to fill you in on Trump accounts. First of all, I don't know everything about the impoverished donations to Trump accounts. I don't know how that works. I didn't do a ton of work on how that works. But what I can tell you are some fun facts. And here are the fun facts. Number one, anybody under 18 can have a TrumpAccount.gov. And it acts like an IRA. So let's say you're 16, 15, 14, 13. You can open a TrumpAccount.gov. You can open a TrumpAccount.gov. And I don't know about 24. There might be something for people that are older, like my children. But there might be something they might come up with something for older young adults. But they may have those already. So what is a TrumpAccount.gov? You've never heard of it. It's a lie. They're not necessarily true. Oh, no. It's the law. And it's coming. July 4th. 250 years. But it's gonna sound off. It's gonna get excited about TrumpAccount.gov. Get excited about it. I'm 65, have no children, and I am excited about it. But I'm excited about it for probably a different reason than any of you all. I'm excited about it because what it means for the next generation. The next generation is going to be called the Trump generation, the wealthiest generation in the history of America. And they're going to control so much wealth in their TrumpAccount.gov. And the beautiful part is they're not going to be able to spend it. They're going to have all this money, and they're not going to be able to spend it until they're 18. But it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And so it's going to be the most fantastic thing ever for freedom and capitalism ever. It's what Social Security should have been. If you could go back in time, let's just go back in time. We'll go back in time. And instead of Social Security, they took all that money that was taken from people's paychecks for Social Security, and they had placed it in TrumpAccounts.gov. Do you have any idea the amount of wealth that would have been created for the greatest generation, the generation that won World War II? Trump has pulled off the miracle of miracles. He has in one beautiful heavenly swoop with TrumpAccounts.gov, he has changed the entire paradigm of the future of America and humanity, because America is not going to be the last country to do TrumpAccounts.gov. It's not going to be the last. And I want to kind of go over all of the factors that are going to go into play in TrumpAccounts.gov. So let's just go over what is a TrumpAccount.gov. A TrumpAccount.gov is a tax deductible or after-tax donation into an account that's opened for someone that's 18 years of age or below. And it might be 17 years of age or below. Let's just say it's 17. We'll be safe. So you're 17 and below the age of or below. Or you're a guardian for someone that's 17 or below. You go to TrumpAccounts.gov, and you open up an account for that child. Now, you can put in $100. You can put in up to, I think it's $5,000 to start the account. So what do you think is going to happen? Well, wealthy people are absolutely going to put in the max that they can put in those accounts. Every year, they can put in you can put in, I think it's up to $5,000. So there are Trump accounts for impoverished Americans where wealthy people can open up a Trump account or can fund a Trump account for your child, and a lot of them are doing it for like $1,000. So you see where this is going? You see where this is going? Those accounts, let's just say you're a young lady, you're pregnant, you're going to college, or you've got something else, you're working, or you're just from a poor family, and you're pregnant, that baby is money, money, money. Because you can open a Trump account, and if you're poor, you can open a Trump account for your new baby, and wealthy people, wealthy Americans, are going to put money into that Trump account. And the more you believe in America, the more you believe in human life, the more you believe in encouraging people to have babies and not make the false choice of murder, you can put more money into those accounts. And so what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen. These mothers are going to see that the inconvenience and the pain and maybe the embarrassment, the shame of having a baby is going to turn into that baby is money. Because in 18 years, you put in 1,000, 2,000, whatever you can afford to put into that Trump account for your child. It grows in the stock market. So in 17 years or 18 years, so let's just say it's 18. Let's just say this starts July 4th. You're a pregnant woman. The word is, what we have to do is get the word out to pregnant women. But you start a Trump account.gov. Now all of a sudden that baby is a bank. That baby is a bank. It's not a poor child anymore, because in 18 years, $500, $1,000, $2,000 every year, you put it, every penny you put into that account, and it's going to grow year after year. So, hey, Justin, do me a favor. Go back through and just do a search. Say, how much would $1,000 invested in the stock market 18 years ago be worth today? Just ask that. Just $1,000 invested in a stock market index. How much would it be worth today?
10 years ago?
No, it's 18. You're going to see the beauty of compounding money and the beauty of capitalism. And he's going to come up with a number. So this is just so think about this. This is just a one-time $1,000 investment made 18 years ago, and with no taxes, no money withdrawn, just $1,000 left in the stock market in an index, in the free markets of capitalism, in the free markets of America. How much that $1,000 would be worth today?
It's only 5,000 or 6,000. I don't think stock market's the way to go, really. You need like a money market.
No.
The stock market fluctuates.
No, you're saying so $1,000 18 years ago was only worth 5,000?
Yeah.
It's only gone up 5 times?
Yeah, that's not a lot. Yeah, stock
That's not what.
Money markets
Okay,
are better off.
I'll have to do a different Google search on that, because that's not what they're saying. They're saying that $1,000 could be worth $500,000 or more dollars in 18 years.
No way.
And I'll look at it. I decry his Google search. But let's just say, because that's the whole goal here. And I think he's full of beans. Hold on, let's just see. 3840. Sorry, I hate to do this on my show, but we'll do it. If I invested $1,000 in the stock market 18 years ago in an index, what would that money be worth today?
Yeah, because you forgot 2008 was the crash too, the market crash.
Hold on. A rough estimate is that $1,000. Ooh, $4,000 to $5,000. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Would be worth $4,000 to $5,000 today, assuming dividends were reinvested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the stock market fluctuates, so that's with that. So 2008 was the big crash.
Right.
So if the market continues to incline, of course the dividends will go up, but the market fluctuates. But I think a money market, a different type, of course, it's good to invest, But you need something a little more stable, I would think, than the stock market
Well,
is more short term.
Okay. Understood. So here we'll see. Because my children got bank invested in, got put money in a checking account, and their money, their $100 never grew to anything. No, let's cancel this. So we're gonna ask a different question. So just let's see how spot on he is. All right. So I need to cancel this. All right. So we're gonna find out if Justin's got a point. If I invested $1,000 in a certificate of deposit and reinvested the interest 18 years ago, how much would it be worth today? $1,400 to $2,400. Okay, now not a lot, right? So 4 to 5,000 is a lot more than 14, 2,400. If I invested in a money market, $1,000, how much would it be worth if I reinvested the interest in 18 years? It depends on the money market. At 4%, it'd be worth $2,000. Okay, so the money market is bullshit. So the actual stock market doubles that, right? So good theory, Justin, but 100% incorrect. Now, perhaps gold or silver would be worth more. I'm sure it would be, honestly. I'm sure it would be. So here, let's do this. If I invested $1,000 in gold and silver 18 years ago, how much would it be worth today?
Yeah, I think that would be better off. Silver outgrew gold
So
also in the last
4,300. So around about the same as the stock market.
They recommend, it's called the ETF, is a broad market equity fund, is the best investment over an 18-year term. I never heard of that one. Broad market index fund.
Yep. So
that's
that's
what
what
recommend.
the TrumpAccounts.gov are going to be invested in. They're going to be invested in broad market index funds in the stock market. So bear with me on this. So 1,000 in 18 years is 5,000. So what if you put in 1,000 every year? And think about this. You not only have the people that are just born putting in $1,000 in the stock market for 18 years. You have everybody that's every child, and we're going to get into this because it's really, really exciting, and I want you to understand it. Almost every child is going to have a TrumpAccount.gov. The reason being is you're going to be a bad parent. You are going to be a bad parent if you don't. We're going to use their tactics, their PSYOP tactics for good. You're going to be a bad parent, a bad guardian, if you don't open a TrumpAccount.gov. That's how we're going to attack this. You don't have a TrumpAccount.gov. Forget the vaccines. You're going to be a bad parent if you don't have a TrumpAccount.gov opened. And think about this. The better, it's just, I'm going through this and thinking about this right now. Think about all the people that have wealth. Think about them. So many people have money. So many people have money. And they do these quote-unquote good things for it. But a lot of it is just self-serving, and it doesn't really do a whole lot of good, right? These NGOs that brought all these bad people into our country, including the Catholic Church, because they were getting so much money. But if you take that money away from organizations and you give it directly to the child, and I don't know if there's any limits. There's limits on what the the organizations can give. Like businesses can give up to $2,500 a year, can donate, can invest, non-taxable, up to $2,500 a year, and then the business gets to deduct it as an expense, but the recipient's child does not have to pay taxes on it. So businesses can give a $2,500 bonus to their employee's child. Employee retention, if you're getting $2,500 put into your child's TrumpAccount.gov every year, that $2,500 is going to sit there for that's a college fund, that's a buy a house fund, that's you name it, whatever it is. But that child now, so bring it all around. The child has $15,000 in what? In a stock fund. What's a stock fund? What's a stock fund? Well, a stock fund is where entrepreneurs start a company and they have an enterprise. They bring in employees to grow the enterprise to make a good or service, something that people need and want and pay for. And the value of their enterprise goes up in their stock, the public stock, the stock that you own, and your Trump account gets to be worth more money. So the better the economy does, the better the corporations do, the more the value of my Trump account goes up. And so now everybody is invested in freedom, in capital, because capitalism is freedom. It's freedom. It's freedom of the producers, of the people that make things happen, of the people that actually create goods and services. That's what capitalism is. You can invest your money or not invest your money, but investing in the people that are growing and making the world better makes Trump accounts go up. So now you have entire generations that want the stock market to go as high as it can go because they've got Trump accounts and their Trump accounts keep going up. And children, instead of being about, so teachers that talk about social justice, when the children see that the social justice is Marxism and communism and hateful ideology and against, think about this, what you're telling me is you're going to make what you are saying, teacher, what you are telling me is social justice is bad for my Trump account. because it's not helping my Trump account go higher, because everything you're saying is against freedom and against capitalism. We're going to have, so starting July 4th, you might as well just, it's the birth of a whole new country. It's the birth of a whole new country. And I can't tell you the long-term benefits of this. I can't. I haven't spent a lot of time placing myself in that seat, but we can do it right now. And that's what this show's all about. This show is all about free streaming, conscious streaming, to see the future, to see how God wins. And TrumpAccounts.gov is like a wings for freedom, because every child, and if you don't have a Trump account, every school, just think about the community getting together and wanting each child to have a foot, feet, legs, a full body in the dream of having a great life. trumpaccounts.gov. So there will be a push not for vaccines, there'll be a push for trumpaccounts.gov. There'll be a push not for social justice warriors, but for trumpaccounts.gov. Because the children will see the benefit. They'll see it in black and white when they see the value of their Trump account. And they'll want to know, how does that Trump account grow? How does it make me more? Well, if you're good and thankful, maybe the wealthy people that you run into on a daily basis will choose to add money to your Trump account. Are you with me? Are you seeing where this goes? Rewarding good behavior with lifelong savings in a Trump account. The impact of this hits everything. We can use it like leverage. We can leverage it for behavior. Good behavior gets rewarded. Truth gets rewarded. Hard work gets rewarded. Hard work and save, put it in your Trump account. You don't hear a lot about this on the radio right now, but you're going to. 100% you're going to. There's not a lot of, it's not a product to sell. So the advertisers aren't paying for it. There's not a lot of money in opening, like, I'm not getting paid right now. There's no way for me to promote or advertise Trump accounts and get paid. And there's a limited number of people. Robinhood, I looked up Robinhood. Looks like a pretty good investment right now because Robinhood is one of the trustees of the Trump accounts. So Robinhood is going to be a publicly traded company that manages. You want a stock tip? Robinhood. Trump, because look up what Robinhood is going to do. Do your own due diligence. But Robinhood is going to be one of the few trustees of Trump accounts. They're going to manage the indices and where the money is in the indices. Let's say you're a 10-year-old. Let's say most people have children in their 25 to 35. 35, working hard. You can put money into your child's, and I believe it's tax deductible. So let's just see. Hold on. Let's find out. Okay. Let's find out. Are Trump accounts tax deductible for parents? There. Are Trump accounts tax deductible for parents? Let's see what it says. No. Contributions parents make to Trump accounts are generally not tax deductible. Okay. All right. You can actually contribute after-tax money, which your child will not pay taxes on when they pull it out. The after-tax money, he will not pay money for that. The account grows tax deferred until the child is 18. Late withdrawals are usually tax IRA. So then at 18, they can move that account without paying taxes on it over to an IRA. Generally speaking, 18-year-olds are not ready to access a lot of money. So moving it over is to an IRA will probably be what a lot of 18-year-olds do if they don't need the money. But a lot of times when you turn 18, maybe you use that money instead of doing a credit card, and you're working and you start. Just think about this long term. Let's think about this long term. A lot of people are like me. They want it now. They want it now. So one of the mental, emotional attachments will be is they'll see, although at 18 you'll still want everything, but they'll have had 18 years, 15 years of seeing that when they defer when they defer what they want and let that earn money, let their money earn money for them for 15, 14, 10 years, just for 10 years. Let's say 10, the age of, let's say 10 is an age somewhat of reason. From 10 years on, they're going to watch that money grow every, for 7 years. They're going to watch that money grow, and they're not going to touch it. And when they turn 18, it's going to be like, well, you can let that money continue to grow for you while you work. You can put more money in it in an IRA, and you can let that money grow for you until it's a lot of money. So why is this? Why does this make a baby money? Well, wealth is hard. Wealth is hard to create. Wealth is hard to come by. It is. It's hard. You people work hard for their money. It is not easy unless you are a wicked Somali pirate, unless you're a thief, and then you're not gonna. At the end of the day, you're not gonna enjoy that money. It's not going to be. It's either going to be taken away from you, or you're going to hell for not living a good life. Okay? That's just the way it works. But these children, our children, American children, black, white, red, brown, I don't care, Asian, it doesn't matter what their nationality or their skin color is, American. But American children are going to see that money grow for them. The mothers are going to see their child as an opportunity for other people to help their child. But at the end of the day, when that child turns 18, the adult can't reach it, so the mother can't reach it, the father can't get a hold of that money. When that child turns 18, it is their money. Now, if you have supported your child for 18 years and the time comes where they're now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, do you think that child is just going to turn their back on their parents? No. Children love their parents. And if that child can help their parents, they're going to help their parents. Right? They are. And so it's this family. So if you look at it this way, it is family wealth. It is family wealth. And that's what these mothers, it's one of the other angles, thought processes that we can share with mothers that think they have a choice to kill. It's like, this is family wealth. Yes, it's going to be in your child's name, but at 18, you're their mother. So if you have this beautiful baby and you help them become great people and help them develop their Trump account, they're your child. They're not going to turn their back on you because you didn't turn your back on them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 100% a game changer. And a lot of times, us as human beings will make decisions not based on our lives, but we'll base it on what we think the life of our child is going to be. Impoverished, ridiculed, not having anything. Well, now we can tell them, take that off the table. They're going to have a TrumpAccount.gov. America is going to we're going to focus on our children and making sure they have everything that they want, not just for today, but for when they get to be 17, 18 years old. We're not worried about college. College is no longer the ticket. College is no longer the ticket. TrumpAccounts.gov is. TrumpAccounts.gov. And maybe college in 18 years will be a different beast. It'll be a better thing. Like, you can still go to great colleges that teach about Christianity and human life being sacred. You can, and they're perhaps great investments. But they'll have to make that case when that child is 17, 18, that they're a great investment, because that child's going to see, well, in 7 years, my money has changed from 10,000 to 50,000, and if I leave it in there another 10 years, it's going to be hundreds of thousands. So why am I taking my 50,000 and putting it in an institution, and I'm not going to have hundreds of thousands later? Like, why am I doing that? Does that make sense for me? I think I'd rather just leave it in a Trump account and go to work and do the best I can with what I have, and I can learn what I need to learn from the internet or from AI. What this is going to do is it's going to give every child whose parent, mother or father, open up a Trump account for them. It's going to give them a vested interest in their future. A vested interest in their future. So every child is going to have a vested interest in the future of our country, in the future of the stock market. And they're going to learn. So stock market, capitalism, is going to become one of the most sought after forms of knowledge and investing in the stock market, because after 18, they can move it to a self-directed IRA and they can invest that money how they see fit. But that knowledge, that interest, that love, it's going to go towards, how can I make my TrumpAccount.gov grow more faster? And there's going to be multiple ways of doing it. Your employer can donate to the TrumpAccount.gov. Your parents can donate to the TrumpAccount.gov. Charities can donate to your TrumpAccount.gov. Individuals may donate to your TrumpAccount.gov. So think about employers. Think about, let's just say, teenagers that are working someplace and they're doing a great job. Now that enterprise can only afford to pay them $10-15 an hour. Okay, they can. But that teenager goes above and beyond and does a great job for you as a member of that organization. You can turn around and say, hey, you know what? I really want this teenager to succeed. I'm going to put $1,000 in their TrumpAccount.gov. Are you with me? So good behavior is going to be rewarded. It changes the whole paradigm of what we're teaching our children, of what teachers are teaching our children. So all these people that are saying, you can become a boy or a girl or do this or do that, they're going to be shown, well, if you get a job, if you help make the world better, if you're kind, if you're thankful, your TrumpAccount.gov is going to grow. And so we have a tool as a society to reward good behavior. What's our reward for good behavior now? Sports? Well, let's just say, let's take sports for example, while I thought of it. We tell our children we invest in their sports. Okay. How many of them are going to make a living at sports? On the women's side, it's almost 0%, in all honesty. And most women do not want to play professional sports. I'm just telling you. Most women, they're not going to get rich playing professional sports. And most of them have other things. They may love the sport they play, but most of them play that sport because they love it, not because they're making a great living or they're going to make a great living at it. There are a few exceptions. There are golf, tennis, soccer to some extent, basketball to some extent. There are exceptions. But for the most part, and this is going to sound terrible, young women are, when they're young, from 20 to 30 years old, those are the easiest years for them to start a family, to have children. And so when given the option of not having to worry about a job, not having to worry about professional sports, but being able to be a mother and raise 3 or 4 children and be with them all the time, most women would choose being with their children 100% because there's nothing, there is no greater joy in life than being around your child. There's none. There's none. Getting married is great. But that's all of a day, right? Being married is great. That's a lifetime, but it's not all joy. it's not all fun. But having a child is like having the image of God in pure innocence in front of you 24/7. Oh my gosh. I had a reel today that just maybe cracked me up. So it was a girl at a driving range, a young lady at a driving range hitting golf balls. And you don't see it. You just see the girl trying to hit golf balls at the range. And the husband's got the video out, and he's showing her, he's encouraging her, like, you can hit it. And the girl swings at the golf ball and just completely misses the golf ball. But she swings pretty hard. So she swings pretty hard, completely misses the golf ball. And all of a sudden, you hear this guttural yell, laugh. And he pans the camera to her baby, who's in a car seat behind the tee, who just watched her miss and swing the ball. And that baby thought it was the funniest thing in the entire world. Now, I laughed my ass off when I saw it, but it could have been that baby laughing at his mother or his father or her father. But the point being is that is 100% innocence. And that is the joy of that laugh, that joy of that single laugh when you completely miss a golf ball. Just the joy of that laugh is insane because that's our created, that's the image. That's the image that we're made of by God. And that image is just saying, hey man, it's a game. You missed the ball. That was funny. And that's what a child is. That's the beauty of a child. You'll never get more enjoyment from anything in this world than that baby laughing at you missing a ball. You will never get any more joy out of this world, out of this life, than that baby laughing when you completely missed a golf ball. And that's the truth. I see Caitlin Clark, and she's a great basketball player. I'm guessing she would be just as good a mom. And she can play basketball all she wants, but wouldn't having children and raising a family be just as joyous, be just as fun? And Caitlin Clark is the example, is the exception, right? So young women playing sports is great for their health, but the bottom line is that's really from 20 to 35 that's a time to have a baby for women. There's a time clock. We can be brutal about it, but let's just be brutal about it. There's a time clock. It's just so much easier for women to have babies in their 20s than it is for them to have them in their 30s, than it is to have them in their 40s. So there's a time clock. When are professional athletes? In their 20s. Okay. So Caitlin Clark, somebody that's doing so great at women's sports, by the time they hit 30, what are you going to do? So women can have babies and do professional athletes after they have babies. They can. But you take 9 months off from being a professional athlete, it can't be easy. You build momentum's tough, right? And you have to leave that baby. So it's not just the 9 months of being pregnant. It's that baby needs you the first 2 years of its life almost 100% of the time. So you've got to, and you need that baby because you want to be around that baby. So I don't know how we got the women's sports from Trump accounts, but we did. Let's see, how much time do I have left? Let's see, 11:40. All right. So what else is going to happen? Let's just look at this. So TrumpAccounts.gov. So in school now, instead of talking about global warming, we're talking about the stock market. Instead of talking about the world turning to shit, we're talking about TrumpAccounts.gov and how we can make the world better. Well, how you can make the world better is know your English, know how to communicate. How you can make the world better is know your math, because knowing your math allows your brain to figure things out that you maybe perhaps otherwise couldn't figure out, because our brain has a couple different sides to it, many different sides, but one of those sides is the ability to mathematically understand the world. And stock market's numbers, right? So a lot of times it's numbers. The price of the stock market, the price of your stock, the value of your stock, those are all numbers. So you got to understand the numbers. It's important that our schools go back to teaching humanity. Humanity as an image of God. Capitalism is freedom. So if you don't understand that capitalism is freedom, then you don't understand Marxism, you don't understand communism, you don't understand oligarchy, you don't understand what humanity was before Jesus Christ, or even after Jesus Christ. Humanity has been the people with the guns, the knives, the swords, taking in an organized fashion from people who work. That was the plight of humanity. Slavery, oligarchy, plebeians, worker bees that had no voice. America changed all that. America changed it. That's why God blessed the world with America. That's what makes America different. We don't have an oligarchy. We don't have Marx. So the beauty of America that's not taught in schools is we have our blemishes, but the beauty is the blemishes of the world before us was dark shit. And America opened up the door for individuals to become anything they worked hard at. There were no limitations. You weren't limited by your skin color. You weren't limited by where you were born in the world. You weren't limited. You could create. If you could create, you got rewarded. So all of our children now are going to be fully aware of their inheritance because they're going to have TrumpAccounts.gov. Their mothers, young women, are going to see the value of having a baby into a world where they're vested. Their children are vested. It's a 100% game changer, guys. It's a 100% game changer. Very excited about it, as you can tell. And I know I'm missing some things that somebody else would see about the positives of this 10 years out. I'm 65. So 10 years out. Let's just play this out. 10 years out. How much wealth in America is in TrumpAccounts.gov? How many billions and billions of dollars are now held in TrumpAccounts.gov in the stock market? What do you think the stock market's going to do? What do you think your 401k is going to do? What do you think stocks that are in the indices that the TrumpAccounts.gov are investing in are going to be worth? You think they're going to be worth less or more? They're going to be worth more. Stocks are going to be worth more. It's the wealth of our nation is going to be incremental. It's going to be astronomical. Astronomical. Now, look at where we are with energy independence. So we don't need oil from the Muslims, from the Islamists anymore. We don't need their oil money anymore. We don't need the trinkets from China anymore. We have our own energy. So when you're paying more for gasoline, who's getting that money? They're getting it in Montana. They're getting it in Texas. Americans that believe in America are getting that money. Do you think the oil companies and gas companies are going to be all over these Trump accounts? Are going to be all over freedom? You bet your sweet ass they're going to be all over it, because they can turn a whole generation. They can turn a whole generation. They don't have to revisit somebody that's been emotionally indoctrinated by the Obamas, by the Bidens, by the bullshit of Islam. They don't have to try to turn a whole generation that's been bombarded with bullshit, emotional, empathetic bullshit. They go right to it. We're donating into your TrumpAccounts.gov. We're putting wealth into your TrumpAccounts.gov so that when you're 18, you have choices. You have choices. But the whole time you're growing up, you're saying that your TrumpAccount.gov is going up in value. And if it goes down, why? Why did it go down? What did the government do? What did the government do to slow this down? I don't like people in the government that hurt my TrumpAccount.gov. I don't like Democrats, because Democrats are not about increasing your wealth. They're about increasing their wealth, their power. They want you impoverished so that you will vote for a Democrat so that you can take money from somebody else. But you don't have to take money from somebody else. They're giving it to you. They're putting it in your TrumpAccount.gov. It's a game changer beyond any of our dreams. And if this would have been the case with Social Security, all these people that are accessing $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a month when they turn 67, if you'd had a Trump account that this money would have gone in, and this is how you know the government is bad. If you would have had a TrumpAccount.gov when you were 20 years old, and your Social Security payments would have gone in that Trump account, and when you turned 67, it was yours, how much do you think would be in there? How much do you think would be in there? So instead of you begging the government for your monthly check, you would have had your own TrumpAccount.gov that would be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, and you could have decided how much of that you wanted to take out on an annual basis. And you could have given that money to your children. Right? So this is how Social Security should have been started to begin with. So this is like a redo. This is like a redo, a generational redo of how Social Security should have been done. And what they should do is they should change Social Security to where you have an option. You can stay in the government Social Security program, or you can opt out and go into a TrumpAccount.gov. And all of your Social Security taxes go into a TrumpAccount.gov, but you're out of the Social Security system. Oh, I just thought of that. That's a really good plan. Maybe Trump can do that. I'll put that on Truth and see if maybe they can make that happen. That would be a great thing for Republicans to do. Yeah, that would be a great thing for Republicans to do. So we'll see if we can't fight for that for us. We don't for our children, so that they don't keep taking money out of Social Security and everybody being beholden to the Social Security when they get older. We won't stop any payments, but anybody that wants their current Social Security payments to go into a TrumpAccount.gov, instead of going to Social Security, they can opt out of the Social Security system and go into TrumpAccounts.gov. Trump is going to go down as the greatest visionary president that America. It doesn't mean he's the greatest president we ever had. Okay? It doesn't mean that, because George Washington, there's never going to be anybody better than George Washington. For so many reasons. There's never going to be, but it's not even every generation, but America gets blessed with leaders that lead. George Washington, we were blessed with George Washington, And he will be forever the greatest American president ever. Because without him, you don't get any other presidents. So there's no opportunity for any other presidents if you don't have George Washington. So he has to be the greatest president ever. Just like Mary has to be the greatest woman ever. Because without Mary, no one goes to heaven. Without Mary choosing God and to bring us Jesus, no one goes to heaven. So, well, maybe some Jewish people go to heaven that behaved very well. But if you read the Old Testament, you see that a lot of Jewish people didn't go to heaven because they didn't behave very well. So you can be Jewish and go to heaven, but it's very difficult to follow our Creator's desires for us and His laws for us. Jew, non-Jew, Buddhist, very difficult to follow those rules, and be in the state of love necessary to get into heaven. Most of us human beings are failed creatures, failed sinners, and we need that barrister of love, that barrister of forgiveness, Jesus Christ, in order to know eternal joy. And I haven't thought about how the TrumpAccounts.gov fall into the Christian realm, other than that God wants the most for all of us. And in that regards, the Trump accounts do allow individuals to understand that this is there for us. It's through Donald Trump, but this is also inspired by love of others, right? So other people will be donating money into TrumpAccounts.gov into impoverished in children's accounts. So this is absolutely a Christian philosophy, a Christian plan, model, because Christianity is about others, and TrumpAccounts.gov are about your account, but it's also about others helping you build that account. There'll be so many ways, so many organizations that will be about building TrumpAccounts.gov. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. Over the long haul, what this will mean is the next generation, that generation that starts with the TrumpAccounts.gov, will be a freedom leadership generation. They will be vested in the ideals of individualism and Americanism, not the social justice. So it's an entire generational changing program. And that's what I want you to see. And the sooner we adopt, the sooner we enforce, the sooner we psychologically embrace and promote TrumpAccounts.gov, the sooner the impact, the more the impact, and the greater the impact. That's the show. Let's do it. TrumpAccounts.gov. Kingdom's evolution. It evolves. It gets better, and it's getting better. We've got to convert Islamists or get them out of our country. We've got to convert Muslims to Christianity. But we can do it with love, and we can do it by deportation. If you're not going to convert to Christianity, get out of our country. You're not an American. You don't believe in our U.S. Constitution. Get out of our country. You'll never be an American if you're a Muslim. The only way to become an American is to convert. Don't want to convert to Christianity? Okay, we'll convert to Americanism. It's not a religion. You won't go to heaven, but you'll be able to stay in America. All right, everybody. Listen, you have a great weekend. It is Friday. Have a great weekend. This is by far the greatest spring that St. Louis, Missouri has ever had in my lifetime. And I don't know if you can go back and check the weather charts, but I've lived in St. Louis all my life, and this is by far the longest spring we've ever had, And by spring, I define spring by rain, some wind, uh, temperatures below 90 degrees and above 50 degrees. This has been by far the mildest for wind, the mildest for rainfall, the mildest for those weather temperatures, the longest stretch by weeks, you guys, by weeks. We'll hit the 90s here, but the longer this lasts, the better. It helps everything. And I don't know if you've been watching the economy numbers, but the economy numbers are off the charts. All the billions that Trump is getting invested in, the trillions that Trump is getting through the tariffs, where he stopped the destruction of our businesses. All that money is coming home and creating jobs. And those jobs are manufacturing jobs. They're creating wealth. And when you're creating wealth, you're creating more jobs. You're creating better housing. You're making everything better. And that's all through capitalism, not through the government. That's all through capitalism, through individuals making decisions to make their lives better. And that's freedom. That's Christianity. We get to grow closer to Christ as individuals, right? Christianity is not a collective. Christianity, you don't stand before Jesus Christ as a collective. You stand before Jesus Christ as an image of God. You don't stand before Jesus Christ as a part of the Marxists, as part of the, what do they call it on Star Trek, the Q? You don't stand before Jesus Christ as a part of an organization. You stand before your Creator as an image of God, alone, answering for your life. That is Christianity. America was founded on Christianity. TrumpAccounts.gov 100% support and reinforce the Christian beliefs that are America. Amen, I say unto you, brothers and sisters. Have a great weekend in St. Louis. I'm playing in the Dogtown. I've played in it for, I think, 40 years. 40 years I play it this weekend. I don't know how I'll do. I've won it a couple times, but it's always very difficult to win. But I am looking forward to a great weekend with my friends that I've known for 40 plus years. And you guys, friends and family, you have a blessed, here, we'll just say quick, name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Holy Mary, Mother of God, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Holy Mary, Mother of God, blessed art thou amongst women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.